Let's talk about this 26 and 6 kids situation. I've already had this conversation before on my page concerning the young lady with 7 kids, I believe is 7 baby daddies. Now, I am not trying to excuse bullshit, but I always want to come from a place of understanding. Being someone who have 5 kids of my own, 4 baby daddies, my last 2 was from my husband, who became my 4th baby daddy, who was my husband for 10 years. Now, a lot of us, we don't want to take in consideration that when you see something like this, you got to look at where this person is coming from, how they were raised, what their background was like. If you don't know better, you won't do better. I speak about my mom having 12 of us with several baby daddies. We're not going to count. And me and my siblings, especially the girls, following in my mom's footsteps. I got my wake-up call when I started studying psychology. And I realized that we were following the footsteps of our mother, even though we might not have wanted to. On top of that, I was touched when I was young, exposed to sex when I was young, was not protected from some of the men around me when I was young. And so started being active quite young, thinking that was what love was. And that's how I seek validation, and that's how I seek love, through sex, through getting attention from men. A lot of the things that I saw when I was young wasn't right. So when I look at this young lady and she's saying she's 26 with 6 kids, another one on the way, I don't think she's understanding what she's doing. And the reason why I'm happy that the internet exposed these things is that we can point these shit out to our children and our children's children. Same how I point my bullshit out to my children. I tell my children I shouldn't have 4 baby daddies. Yes, I started having sex young. Yes, I was exposed young. I don't feel like the beginnings I had, I would have a better life. But they have a better chance than me to have a better life than me, which is why I need to tell them the truth. Like I'm going to tell you guys the truth. There's no reason in this world we need to be giving our wombs to so much men. There's a word that I'm looking for, recklessly. If you are going to have sex, protect your womb and protect yourself. Having a child, having babies is not a simple thing. This shit affects your mental health, affects your emotional well-being, affects your life in every kind of way. Worse if the person that you're having the child with is not mature enough or have enough integrity to do their part. As a young person in your 20s, your main focus should be you, your education, your career, your life, your money. But what a lot of us focus on high is pursuing love and validation. That's what I was pursuing. I was pursuing being loved and validated. And unfortunately, that was expressed through sex. I think we're in a time where self-love and self-care and self-validation is being spoken about more, and even healing from trauma and recognizing your trauma is being spoken about. So the generation coming after us should know better than us. Having 6 kids at 26, your life has barely started. And now you have 6, soon 7 lives to take care of. I do not care what anyone says. I was a teen mom. That shit ain't easy. Even being in my 30s now, still taking care of young kids that I had from my 10 years of marriage. That failed. It still ain't easy in my 30s. So to be 26, to be having more kids on top of the 6, which should be 7, God rest the soul of your passing baby. We cannot be spreading this information and acting like it's okay, like it's some kind of trend, like it's beautiful. But what we need to do is tell people the truth about having children, about having absent fathers, about not having enough finances, about not having enough mental break, emotional break, just space, about being touched out, about being overstimulated, about being tired and never rested. We need to be honest so that those coming after us, our children, their children, won't make the same mistakes. We can never change what we've done. What we've done is written, is done. But what we can change, what I can change, is my children's mindsets, view, and choices. Hopefully. Hopefully they will listen. Hopefully they will enjoy their 20s. Hopefully they will be mindful and careful about choosing to have kids and who to have kids with and the position to have kids. Are you in a financially good position, mentally, emotionally? Are you in a social position to have kids? And a lot of us had kids without even considering any of this. They're here now. There's nothing we can do. But what we can do is teach our kids better and do better. We have the choice to carry on having kids for people who we shouldn't be having kids with, in moments where we shouldn't be having kids, mistakes that we've made over and over again. Or we can choose better. If we do decide to have more kids, we get ourselves in a financially better position, a mental better position, emotionally better position. I'm thankful that my kids are getting older, 15, 16, 11, have two younger ones who are growing. I'm thankful that their fathers are present. Except for my oldest, he's never seen her, never claimed her, and that's fine. She had been taken care of well by the father figures and uncles in her life. But what I will not promote is mothers, young Black mothers especially, having children on top of children, never really seeing what they're doing, never really wanting to change, never really wanting to question the narrative and the perception of having kids that we were giving. This shit isn't okay. It's not okay. Yes, we've done it. Yes, we are surviving. But in a different life, a different situation, we could thrive. We can decide when to have kids and who to have kids with and what position to be in to have children, other than doing it out of survival, out of desperation, or out of a place where we just want to be loved. Once we recognize why we're doing it, we can change our behavior and change the behavior, possibly, of the children that we've given birth to and those that surround us. I also want to speak to the women who are being pressured into having children. After I had my third child, I decided I was done having children. I got married. The person I got married with told me he did not want any kids. Matter of fact, his partner before me was pregnant 3 times. They did not go through with the pregnancy. 2 years into our marriage, he's decided he wanted kids. And I didn't. And I was brought before the church. I was called a wicked wife. And I was pressured into having more kids for this man. The people who pressured me into having kids, they're no longer in my life. I say this to say, do not make anyone pressure you into having children. Do that shit on your time, because when they decide to up and leave baby daddies, husband becoming baby daddies, or husband who's always been baby daddies, just playing the role of a husband, acting like a husband, when they decide to up and leave, when these religious demons decide to up and leave, guess who's left with those children and those responsibilities? You. Now, I give myself grace because I met this man at 24 and he was in his 30s and I was groomed, I was manipulated and abused. And I want you to know that it is possible to be pressured into having children when you're not ready for that and when you don't want that. So take care of yourself and make decisions for you.